Hello, good evening. This live is about buying a house. If you're an entrepreneur, if you are self employed, if you plan on starting a business this year, this video live is for you. So stay tuned or don't stay tuned, just stay on and watch. And I am going to share with you tips that you need to think about when considering buying a house as an entrepreneur. When you're first starting out, sometimes you don't know what's ahead of you. You're starting your business. You may be in a situation where you are forced to start a business. Maybe you have just been fired or laid off from your job. You may be uh, you you may be I'm trying to think of another scenario. You may be in a situation where you plan to come off of your job, or maybe you've just retired and now you're at a point where you are ready to launch your business. You're ready to move forward and do your own thing. But when you're starting out, sometimes you cannot see the forest for the trees, right? Sometimes you just don't know what's ahead of you and you don't know what type of desires you have. Now, if you're an individual who's leaving corporate America and then you're transitioning into home ownership, that is different. Or you may be shifting from corporate to entrepreneurship and you already have a house, but you may in a few years want to upgrade your house. How do you do that as an entrepreneur? I was on Reddit and this gentleman was talking about the fact that he did not know he hadn't done anything. He had been an entrepreneur for over 15 years. His wife had to do everything because she was a salaried W-2 employee and he just didn't have his books in order and he didn't know the first steps to take. Why is it so difficult to purchase a home, or why do people think it's so difficult to purchase a home once you're an entrepreneur? The reason why is because typically you are shifting from a W-2 job to a non W-2 job. You may have an LLC, so you are taking owner's draws. That is how you are getting paid out of your business, and therefore you don't have a W-2 anymore. So many people think that if I don't have a W-2, I cannot buy a house. And there are even some loan officers who, and forgive me, I need to put up this little, I have a new webcam and I have a sticky note over the light because it's like super distracting for me. So forgive me as I make my adjustments. Anyway, uh, if depending on what type of loan officer that you're talking to, they may even say, hey, if you don't have a W-2, you can't get a job, because that loan officer may not know of all the programs that are available. So we're going to get into it. But before we get into it, I want to share with you what inspired me to do this live. Okay, so I was on Facebook and I always get inspiration from like Reddit and Facebook, guys, because sometimes coming here to produce original content is challenging and I have to find inspiration. So I'm on Facebook and a gentleman in a group that I am in mentioned something. He's an entrepreneur. This particular uh page is specific, or this particular group is specifically for business owners, and he wants to buy a house. So here's his dilemma. I'm new to the group. I've owned my business coming up on 3 years. I'm trying to buy my first house. My first year in business, I wrote off everything so I didn't have to pay any taxes. To a bank, it looks like I made nothing, even though I did on paper. I didn't. He didn't because he wrote everything off, which is typical. Your first year it may be your toughest year in business, but it's amazing. It is amazing for taxes because you're writing everything off. You're probably, if you also kept your W-2 job, you're probably going to get a lot of money back in taxes. So it's a give and a take, but you don't have a bird's eye view to see what moves you may be trying to make 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line. So let's continue. He's asking, should I wait until next year after taxes are filed to get pre approved for a house and show that I made good money this year? Okay, so we're going to dive deep into that. And to stay on task this time, guys, because I'm working to get better. And in order to produce more content, in order to show up more for you, sometimes I'm going to have to show up in workout gear. I am a mom of 4. We homeschool our 4 children. Today is very cold and rainy. I've been out grocery shopping, doing things for my family. My husband has been under the weather, and now my 6-year-old is under the weather. So in order for me to show up for you, I'm sorry, guys. I know my finger is getting in the way, but I'm trying to keep the sticky note up so I don't get distracted by this new light. So in order for me to show up for you, I'm going to have to show up as is sometimes. So that's exactly what I'm doing tonight. And I'm going to be doing it more often. I would love to be glammed up all the time. But the reality is I'm an entrepreneur. I work from home. I own businesses just like you, but I also have a family. So I work from home. I take care of my children from home. I'm home a lot. And a lot of times I want to record. I want to show up for you, but I may have just got off the treadmill. I may have just exercised. I may have just made a meal for the children, or I may have just gotten off of a phone call. And a lot of times I do not record, and I'm going off track a little bit, but I hope this is inspiration to you. Sometimes you just got to get things done. You want to present a certain way, definitely, but sometimes you just got to get it done. And that's what I'm doing tonight. So I want to get better. I have been getting better at presenting information. I don't want to get too sidetracked tonight. So what I'm going to do, I wrote some notes on my little sheet of paper. So I am going to go straight from my notes. If you are here, if you showed up tonight and you have questions, I want to hear from you. If you watch this video later, I want to hear from you. Like, I want to know, where are you in business? Did you set up your business properly so that you can buy a house? Did you not set up your business properly? Do you already own a home? Is it even on your radar? How in the world am I going to get a mortgage as an entrepreneur? So the first point is, you just don't know what you don't know. Again, when you are first starting out, a lot of times some circumstance in your life has thrust you into entrepreneurship. That may be unemployment, a layoff, something may have happened in your household. You may have had a baby, or there are many situations and circumstances that may have led you to entrepreneurship. Some of you are younger and you may have just started out of the gate. You didn't go to college, or you may be ex-military and you just started your business. So when you first start your business, your goal is just to get started. You're not thinking about, oh, I want to buy a house in 2 years. You're just trying to get going. You're taking whatever experience, whatever skill, whatever your background is, and you are just starting. You're launching. Once you figure out what service you're going to provide, who your customers are, and you start getting those first clients, you're just running off of momentum. I get it. I've been there. I've been an entrepreneur for 17 years. So, but what happens when you get to that 2-year, 3-year, 5-year mark and you're ready to buy a house? What happens? What are your options? So again, you do not know what you don't know in the beginning. You don't know all of the different components that you may need in your business. So I'm going to tell you what you're going to need. As I stated, if you're starting off as an LLC, I'm just going to have to suffer through this light. Okay. If you're starting off as an LLC or a sole proprietor, which, as glamorous as LLCs are, most people start their business just under their regular name. They don't file an LLC. They don't have business insurance. They're just starting, right? But there comes a time where we need to transition to make sure our documentation is in place so that we can make the necessary moves to build that legacy that we started the business in the first place for, right? We want to live out that dream. You started your business to achieve and accomplish a dream, a goal, to get out of corporate America, to provide more income for your family, to live on your own terms. So you do have to think about making sure you're set up properly. Even if you didn't the first year, going into the second year, or even if it's been 10 or 15 years, you can always go back and readjust. So what do you need? When you're first starting out, my suggestion is, don't get bogged down in all the different applications. You have QuickBooks, you have FreshBooks, you have all these different softwares, tools, and applications. You need to be focused on generating revenue initially. Okay. Definitely. I would be as bold to say, up until you hit $65,000, $75,000, you need to be focused on how do I fine tune my service, my offering, getting my clients and customers and making money, right? So you don't need to get bogged down with all these different applications that people have in order to launch their business. They will slow you down trying to figure them out, especially if you are a solo entrepreneur, which many people are when they're first starting out. When you are first starting out, I'm going to simplify it for you. I'm going to make it so easy because I've walked in your shoes. You're going to set yourself aside. Let's say you're starting your business this year. It is January. You're going to set yourself aside 12 folders or 12 envelopes. And what you're going to put, each one is going to represent each month of the year. So January through December, each one will have one envelope will have January, one envelope will have February, one envelope will have March, so on and so forth. Once you have those envelopes, what's going to go in it? What's going to go in those envelopes is your receipts. Any receipt, anything that you pay for your business. You get your business license, put the receipt in there. You have a cell phone in your business name, put your receipt in there. You have you're buying supplies, tools, products, a stapler, pencils, whatever you're buying. If you are purchasing software, you're going to put it in those folders. For those of you who are very tech savvy, you're going to get your digital receipt and create digital folders within your Google Drive. I'm sure that you have a Google email. Most people do. When you're starting out, you may have whatever your business name is, johnsmithlandscaping@gmail.com. In your Google Drive, you want to create 12 folders, January through December, and every digital receipt that you get for your business, you want to put it in there. If you are unfamiliar with what business expenses are, you're going to Google this information. Just Google categories of small business expenses. Print that sheet out, read over it, take a picture of it with your phone. So every time you spend money on your business, you want to be putting those receipts in that envelope. Okay. So that's first thing. I'm going to give you the low tech options. The next thing that you want to do is you want to definitely use your cell phone. Use your cell phone to take pictures of receipts. For me, with my real estate investing firm, when my contractors go to Home Depot and they're calling me at that service desk to use my Home Depot card, I tell them, take a picture of the receipt and go ahead and text it to me right now. Right? Even though with Home Depot, I get the receipts online, I still have my contractors go ahead and text me a picture. Put a folder in your phone, business expenses, and put all of those pictures in that folder. Hopefully, you can do it through Google Drive on your phone so that everything is in Google Drive. These 12 folders that I talked about, all of your pictures from your receipts, make sure they're in there. Okay, the next step is the first week of each month. It could be the day one, January 1st, February 1st. It could be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all the way through the 7th. That is the day that you're going to work on your business, the business aspect, the behind the scenes, the paperwork. You want to just make sure that all those pictures are in the folder. All those receipts are in your folder, just one day a week. And this is for people who do not yet have a bookkeeper. Even if you're making $300,000 a year, which if you're making $300,000 a year, you need to have a better system than this. But if you have not been keeping good records, then you need to back up. If you have not been keeping good records or you just want to start right, I am hosting a class on January 27th at 2, I believe it's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it's going to be live on Zoom and you're going to get the replay. It's only $47, guys. I have been teaching this class for several years with my clients, my in real life clients, because I have clients. I am not just a digital business owner. I am new to the digital space. I have owned businesses for a long time, a consulting business in particular since 2011. I have a degree in public policy. So I help businesses set up properly. I help businesses prepare for expansion, meaning they want to buy a commercial building. They're ready to expand. They're ready to grow. I help businesses who have existed for 15 years and haven't set up properly. Guys, you're going to have to excuse me. I'm so sorry. I have to have this sticky note up. I help businesses, okay? I help businesses solve their problems, set up properly, grow. That's what I do. On January 27th, I will be hosting the class live via Zoom. If you are ready to make sure your business is established properly, we're going to go through 16 steps. This doesn't even scratch the surface. I'm going to continue to share with you nuggets to make sure your business is in order, especially your paperwork. However, I am also going to, during that time, I am also going to making sure your business is set up properly and making sure that if you were not set up properly, you get on a path to set up properly. We're going to learn about 16 different steps to make sure your business is set up. The link is in the description below. I am also going to put it in the chat, but I want to get back to these points. Okay. Okay. So I'm also going to be talking in the chat too. So let's move on. So the first week of the month, you are going to be making sure all of your documentation is in order. If you don't know what categories are, you're going to be looking for the proper categories, right? You're going to Google what are business expense categories. You're going to print that sheet out and then you'll have it. So once a month, you're going to make sure everything is in the proper folders. Everything is where it needs to be. Why am I doing this? Why am I teaching you to do this? I am teaching you to do this. I was just saying, Munzer, see when I will see you on live stream. Okay, I'm here. I'm here on live stream. So if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat. I will answer that question as I'm going through this, making sure that you could buy a house as an entrepreneur. Okay. The reason I'm having you set this up is because when that next year comes, like we are in 2024. So in 2024, we're going to be filing taxes for 2023. When you go to your tax preparer or CPA, you're going to have all of this stuff in order. They're going to say, hey, where are your receipts? Where are your expenses? You're going to have it in order. Why? Because Tiffany taught you need 12 folders, whether they're digital folders or physical folders. You need to be taking pictures of your receipts. So you're going to be ready for that accountant. You're going to be ready for that CPA, and you're going to have all of your business in order. You're not going to be afraid to file taxes on your business. Now, for those of you who are just spending your money and you're not putting money aside for your taxes. And guys, I'm going to be talking to you and I'm going to be looking at the chat. So I'm going to pause for a second. I want to start a business. Can you help me with a grant application? Can I help you with a grant application? So the way that I can help, if you would like me to help here on live, I can answer questions here on live. If you need me to work with you one-on-one to discuss your application and help you move in the right direction of the application process, I offer consultations. So I offer one-on-one consultations. I have a link. You can schedule it through Calendly. That is how you work with me one-on-one. I no longer take on clients where I am applying on their behalf. My cup is overflowing. I have clients who I do apply for the grant on their behalf. They retain me for an entire year, and those slots are filled. I will not be serving people in that capacity anymore. However, I do offer consultations. So I definitely would love to have a consultation with you if that's something that might interest you. If not, then we can do a back and forth here. I want to continue to get through this information as it pertains to like how to buy a house as an entrepreneur, but I would love to, I want a one-on-one consultation. Okay, cool. So guys, bear with me. I'm going to continue to help you all set up your business, but I'm going to give her this link for the one-on-one consultation. So bear with me. Okay, copy. Oh no. Okay. How long will the consultation last? The consultation lasts 30 minutes. It's a 30-minute consultation. And I actually just decreased the price on my consultations. I'm not going to say that they are like uh yeah, I did. I lowered the price a little bit for my consultation. So well, I didn't technically lower the price. I lowered the time. So I used to do 45 minutes. I used to do 1 hour consultations. Then I did 45-minute consultations. This is a 30-minute consultation. If you need longer though, I'm very good. I do a lot of consultations throughout the year. I'm good about making sure that we're not gonna waste any time. I asked you questions in the beginning. No, I mean the one you said you used to help people for a whole year. Okay. How long will it last? Oh, I no longer do that. So I still have clients who are on retainer and they're with me for the entire year, or they started with me last year. Like for instance, I had one client, we started in April and then we're going to continue through this April. But she was the last client that I was taking last year, and I'm not going to open it up to take clients to do the grants for them this year. So the only way you don't do that anymore. No, I don't do that anymore. If I start with you now, when will it end? We will only do a one-on-one consultation. So that's all that I offer now. Just the 30 minutes. Yes, just the 30 minutes. Are you looking for someone to apply for grants on your behalf? And while I'm waiting on you to answer that question, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna continue to go over the point. Yes, you're looking for someone to apply. So yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't. And very quickly, I'm going to explain why. So for profit, I mentioned this before. For I need that help. I know it's so applying for grants is overwhelming. It's taxing. Uh, the advice that I can definitely give is you want to be practicing, you want to do it often. I I will try to find you. You're not the only person who has asked me this. I will try to find you guys someone who is good, who can write grants for you. But here's the thing, most grant writers work for nonprofits. That's how I was traditionally trained. That's how I was trained in college. I was preparing to work for a nonprofit. I worked for many nonprofits as a consultant. So that is just for-profit businesses. Sometimes owners of for-profit businesses don't understand all that it takes to apply for grants. Typically, a business, a nonprofit, we go into a nonprofit has a budget that they're trying to achieve. Let's say it's $1 million for the year, and they're trying to raise that money. All right. They will put it up. There's literally a whiteboard up $1 million, and there's a list of grantors that you're gonna go after all year long. So it's definitely like a skilled job. Okay. Typically, grant writers, if it's an experienced grant writer, their salary is usually at about $75,000 and up because they're bringing $1 million into that business. So unfortunately, when it comes to for-profit businesses, especially startups or businesses that are trying to, let's say your goal is $50,000 for the year, that budget doesn't necessarily align with also having somebody full time. And I honestly, with integrity, I say that I have a lot of experience. I've raised over $10 million for nonprofits, for profit, small business owners, right? That's just within the last 3 years. But most people who are telling you, oh, I'll write you a grant, right? I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of them want your money up front. Okay. They want your money up front because they cannot guarantee you that you're going to be selected for that grant, especially as a for profit. There are a very limited amount of grants. There's a lot of competition. So the name of the game is apply, apply, apply. Like you have to make this is a part of my business. This is a part of my revenue strategy. That's the only way you're going to win grants as a for profit. So I'm so sorry. I'm so glad you're on live. I'm so sorry that I no longer taking on one-on-one clients in that capacity to apply on their behalf. It's just a lot of work. It's a whole lot of work. I have to work with these clients all year long. I have to help them come up with programs so that they look more attractive to the grantors. And it is a lot. But if you schedule that consultation, I can figure out what is it that what stage your business is at, what grant are you looking at in particular, and how do we get you to that point where you're not only applying for that grant, but you have a structured process to apply for grants throughout the year so that you can reach whatever revenue. But can one apply for a grant when the business has not started yet? Yes, you can. There are some grants that are literally for startups. There are some grants that they say in the application requirements, all you have to have is an idea. So it's all about reading those requirements and instruction. A more nominal or less expensive option that I offer is the Business Funding Insider. So every month, the people who are a part of my subscription, it's a monthly newsletter that you're getting that includes a list of grants. These are grants that I'm actually looking for my in real life clients. So I'm going through these grants with a fine tooth comb. Not only do you get that newsletter every month, and it comes with every grant that I go over here on YouTube is in that newsletter, and I'm sending it to you before I'm putting it out on YouTube. So you have an opportunity to get ahead of the competition. And then I also create a second video that you guys don't see. It's unlisted. It's only for business funding insider newsletter subscribers. And and with that newsletter, they get that second video so they see those pro notes. So, it just depends on what you need. I definitely can support you, whether that's through a consultation or through Business Funding Insider, but it just depends on what you need. So I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have more questions as I go on, feel free to ask in the chat. Okay, next thing. We're talking about, I am helping you figure out what you need to do as an entrepreneur to be able to be a homeowner in order to be able to buy a house when you are self-employed. Okay. What we have gone over is you don't know what you don't know. All right. That's not your fault. When you're starting out, you're trying to figure out, how do I provide this service? What service do I do? How do I provide it? How do I reach as many people as possible and make as much money as possible? Okay. But I'm giving you the steps to take so that you can structure everything properly so that you are ready to purchase a home. Okay. So we went over you creating 12 folders, taking pictures in those 12 folders for each month of the year. You're going to put receipts in there. Every receipt that you have pertaining to business expenses. If you don't know what business expenses are, what categories qualify, do a Google search. Next thing I went over is the first week of each month, you want to make sure that everything is in order, everything is in that folder. Once you go to your tax preparer or your accountant or your CPA, you want to have all your paperwork ready. Okay. If you need help with this and you are like a new business owner, if you need help like making sure things, if you have children, if you have a spouse who will help you, if you have somebody that is good, if you have a bookkeeper. I personally am at a point, I've been in business a long time. I have a bookkeeper. She keeps all of my records together throughout the year. And then here we are in a new year. I will take all those records to my CPA. But when you're starting out, if you're under $75,000 in revenue, you may not be there yet to keep a bookkeeper on staff. Bookkeepers are not as expensive as you may think, especially if you're getting a recommendation of somebody who does it in real life and maybe not online. Like, you didn't get the referral from Instagram, you got the referral from your neighbor or from your girlfriend or from someone like that. They may be less expensive. Okay. So once you take all your documents, you want to file your taxes. The next thing I want to discuss is a lot of people are afraid to file their taxes on their business because they feel like they spent the money. So what they want to do is they want to go in and they want to write everything off. And then you're going to end up in a situation like the gentleman who posted in the Facebook group. In that Facebook group I was reading to you, he wrote everything off so he didn't have to pay taxes. That is not always a good thing. You want to show that your business is actually making money. Okay, so how do you put money aside throughout the year? I say a minimum, start off with saving 15% of everything that you bring in. Some people will say save 30% because you're looking at state and federal taxes. If nothing at all, because you're going to have a lot of expenses. So I find in my personal business that 30% isn't always necessary. Start off at least saving 15% of all of the money that comes in. How do you do that easy? Okay. I use a bank account called Novo. Okay. Novo is a virtual account. There's no in-person location, but Novo, and I'm going to put the link for Novo in the description. Novo is a virtual bank. It's free to sign up with Novo. Okay. The reason I like Novo is because they have what's called reserves. It is like having multiple bank accounts in one. You can set up a reserve for your taxes, and you can say you set these features, okay? You set the parameter on these features. So what you would do if you set up a Novo account, I'm going to put the description, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Okay. Once you set up a Novo account, you can go in and you can say, every time I make money, I want to save 15%. And every time a dollar comes into your account, it will put that 15% away automatically in reserves. All right. So that is a great feature of having a virtual business bank account. But you're not just going to have that one, you're going to have two. So the next business bank account that you want to open is a local or community bank or credit union. Okay. You want to open a bank account with a local community bank or credit union. The reason you're going to do this is you want to develop a relationship with a local bank. Okay. I don't have time to go through all of the parameters you want to look for when you're going to this local bank, but you definitely want to have an account with them, and you want to make sure that they have small business products, and you want to make sure you're able to apply for those small business products online. All right. So the reason I'm saying this is because some community credit unions, local banks are a little janky. They're a little antiquated. They don't have all of the services that you may need. It's because eventually you may need a car in your business name. You may need to buy commercial real estate in your business name. You want to buy a single family home for you and your family, and you may want to use that lender. So therefore, you want to make sure that when you're ready for those things, you can apply very easily. Okay, let's move on. So the point I just made is you're going to have a business bank account. You don't have to use Novo, but I really like Novo. I use them personally for my consulting business. I can send invoices. I can get paid via Stripe, Venmo, PayPal. So what I find with my clients, I have clients who are landscapers. I have clients who are hairstylists. You guys are taking too much cash. Okay. Y'all are using all these apps, Cash App, and I get it. You just trying to get your money. Apple Pay. And listen, pick whichever apps you're going to use. And I know you're going to say, well, I don't want people to not be able to pay me. Tell people in advance. These are the apps that I use. I use Venmo. I can send you an invoice where you can use your credit card. I can send you an invoice. You can, I don't know about checks, y'all, but you can Zelle me, whatever you decide though. What does your banking institution take? Because the next step I'm going to give you is you want to make sure that all of your money is going into this business bank account, one business bank account, not in your personal bank account, not in a drawer in your house, not in the glove compartment or that middle section in your car. Okay, no, not at all. You want to make sure that you are putting your money in a business bank account. Okay, put my money in a business bank account all 2024. Okay. Reason you're going to do that is going to be way easier to track your expenses. You're going to have your income account be that virtual account, because Novo, they're not going to be like a normal bank that's going to say, oh, we need 10 days before this check post. With Novo, you can put a check in. If it's a good check, it's going to clear that next day. Okay. That's why I advocate for virtual bank accounts. The next thing that you're going to do is you are going to have that local bank or credit union, that account is going to be for your expenses. So once your income comes in, you're going to transfer it out into your expense account. That's the account that you're going to take your owner's draw from. That is the account that you're going to use expenses, that's that account. Okay. The reason you're putting money in these two places is one, the virtual account is easy. You're going to get paid quicker. The local bank or credit union account is going to help you develop a relationship with that bank. They're going to see, oh, Susan made $150,000 this year, $300,000 this year. Oh yeah, Susan. So now, Susan, you can go into this bank and say, hey, I am ready for a residential loan. Okay. And this is for someone, these are for people who are sole proprietors. These are for people who are LLCs. You can go in there, you can talk to the branch manager, you can say, hey, I'm ready to buy a house, but I'm an entrepreneur. I use you all as my banking institution. Can you offer me a loan to purchase a home? Okay, that's one option. That's only one option that I'm giving you. I'm giving this option for the people who are sole proprietors, who are single member LLCs. Even if it's you and your husband or you and your wife, it's still a single member LLC. This is the track you want to go on. Now, what are they going to need to see? They're going to need to see 2 years of tax returns. They are going to need to see 2 years of tax returns. So this isn't year one. This is why I'm setting you up. I'm saying keep track of all of these things because this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some savings. Okay. That's why we're saving. You need to be saving more than that 15% that you're bringing in from that business. Definitely save more, right? Me personally, 40% off everything I make is gone. That's tithe, that's taxes, 40% is gone. So we're operating a business, we're living our livelihood off just 60%. That's me, right? So you are going to have to set your own parameters. But the next thing we're going to go over is if you are once you hit $75,000 to $100,000, you need to be talking to a CPA about transitioning to an S corp. Once you are an S corp, things become a whole lot easier as it pertains to eventually qualifying for a home. Here's why. Because as an S corp, you can pay yourself as a W-2 salary. You want to use something like Gusto to set up your payroll. You want to be paying yourself through payroll. That means you're going to be paying payroll taxes. And that can be challenging at first. That can be a lot to get accustomed to, but I'm going to tell you why it's good. And again, on January 27th, I'm going to be hosting a class, Launch Your Business Right from the Start. It's for new entrepreneurs. It's for experienced entrepreneurs. If this short live is not enough for you, if you need more, if you're looking to start your business right this year in 2024, even if you have been in existence for 15 years, go ahead and sign up for that. The link is down in the description below. It's only $47. I'm telling you guys right now, it will never be that low again. I am just launching that class in a digital space. I've been doing that class for a long time in person, but because this is the beta launch, this is the testing launch for how is my audience connecting, what do they need, is $47. Go ahead and sign up. It's going to be on Zoom. You're going to get the replay. It's going to be available. Okay, back to this. If you have hit the 75,000 plus mark, you want to talk. I am not a CPA. I am not an attorney. I am not, I am a business consultant, but you want to talk to your CPA about transitioning to an S corp. You want to start paying yourself as a W-2 salary, as a W-2 employee, maybe not at $75,000. It just depends on your situation. Definitely at $100,000, you want to be paying yourself a W-2. Why? If you pay yourself a W-2 for 2 years, W-2 for 2 years from your business, tax returns for 2 years from your business, getting a loan is going to be a whole lot easier. You don't necessarily have to use that credit union. You can use the mortgage broker that your realtor sends you to, okay? But you want to be working with a realtor that has experience with working with entrepreneurs. You want to let the realtor know that, this is your situation. You want to be working with a mortgage broker who is experienced with entrepreneurs, because if they are not experienced with entrepreneurs, they're going to tell you all the things that you cannot do. You can do them. Now if you are an S corp, and you have been paying payroll taxes, you have a W-2, you're on payroll for 2 years tax returns, it's going to be very seamless for you to get a house. Of course, if your credit score definitely has to be where it needs to be. But I'm going to tell you about some other products that you can ask a mortgage lender about. I'm not necessarily talking about your local bank. We all know what just happened with Navy Federal. We all know the jankiness of Wells Fargo. I'm not talking about those two banks. There is something called a debt service coverage ratio loan, a DSCR. It is based on the asset. Where do you find out more information about this? One, you can Google it. The next thing you can do is you can reach out, whoever your realtor is. If you don't have a realtor, I'm not a realtor, but I can, I am not a realtor. However, if you want to email me at, I believe it is support at launchgrowbusiness.co. Don't quote me on that, but I will put my email in the description once I finish this live. Okay. So DSCR is a loan product that I want you to look into. Okay. You want to be talking to a mortgage lender who is creative based, right? The next thing is there are loans specifically or that are more entrepreneur friendly. Okay. You want to be talking to a mortgage lender who has experience with entrepreneurs. Okay. I do know of mortgage lenders. I'm going to reach out to them because I'm doing this video. I'm going to reach out to them. If I know that they are solid and can provide you value, I'm going to leave their information in the description. Give me a day or so. I'm recording this live on January 12th, 2024. So I may or may not have that information tomorrow. It may take me a few days, but check back if you need it. Okay, so that's the bottom line. I'm going to wrap everything up. You don't know what you don't know. I just gave you what you need to know. Don't get caught up in the apps. Create 12 folders for 12 months of the year. Put your receipts in there, whether they're digital folders through Google Drive or whether they're physical folders. Take pictures of your receipts with your cell phone of your business expenses. The first week of each month, pick a day to work on your kind of accounting, the business things you need to work on. Make sure everything is in order. Put it in your phone. Place reminders in your phone. You making money is just as important as your business being in order. Okay. The next thing that you want to make sure you have is a business bank account. I mentioned Novo. Their link is down in the description below. I do have to that is my affiliate link. If you click on it and create a bank account, I am going to make Novo is going to give me a small commission at no cost to you. The Novo account is free. There are no monthly fees or no maintenance fees or anything like that. I actually use them. I've been using them since 2020. Okay. I haven't had any issues with them, but they are a virtual bank. Everybody doesn't like virtual banks. The next thing I told you to do is you're going to set up a second account with a community bank or credit union, local community bank or credit union. Once your income comes in through Novo, again, you are going to train your clients. These are the ways that I take payments. Your clients are not going to train you. You are serving them, and your service requires a certain protocol. They have to pay you in a certain way. Venmo, PayPal, Stripe, pay you through invoice with Novo. You can send invoices and they can pay right there in the invoice. Okay, the next thing is you're going to send all you're going to transfer money to your community credit union, and your expenses are going to come out of that account. Income account, expense account. I also talked to you about saving for taxes. My rule of thumb is to at least start off at 15%. For those of you experienced entrepreneurs who've been in business for 20, 30 years, and you want to tell me, no, they should be saving 30%, you CPAs, you tax preparers, that's great information. Start a YouTube channel. This is based on my 17 years of experience. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is after you have 2 years of tax returns that are showing that your business is profitable, not you writing everything off. 2 years of W-2s because if you're an S corp, you are going to pay yourself a W-2. Once you have all of that information, if you're not paying yourself a W-2, if you're an LLC or a sole prop and a sole proprietorship, and you are paying yourself through owner's draws, that's what it's called, owner's draws. So anytime you transfer money from your business account to your personal account, you need to put a little note in there that says owner's draw and print out that transaction and put it in those folders. Okay. Once you have this information, whether you S Corp, have 2 years tax returns, 2 years of W-2, 2 years of profitable tax returns where you've paid taxes on and you've paid payroll taxes, you qualify for a house a whole lot simpler. But if you have 2 years tax returns minimum, profitable tax returns, so let's say you're not going to be profitable this year. Let's say you're going to write everything off for 2023 here in 2024. In 2024, you need to be preparing yourself, saving at 15%, preparing yourself to submit a profitable tax return, which means you're going to have to pay taxes for the next 2 years. Even if you're a sole prop or an LLC, you're going to have that information so that you can go and buy a house. All right. Next thing I told you is you want to work with an entrepreneur friendly real estate agent. If your cousin isn't entrepreneur friendly, meaning they have worked with entrepreneurs and they understand the financial landscape, they may not be the best fit for you. If you want to go into Wells Fargo or Navy Federal, they may not be the best fit for you. You need to be paired with a mortgage lender who is entrepreneur friendly. Okay. Can you buy a house as an entrepreneur? Absolutely. Do you need your business in order? Yes, you do. I hope you sign up for the class on January 24th. Until then, I will see you on the next live. Thank you guys so much for participating. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for participating. If you have questions about your business, small business grants, small business setup, if your business is janky and you need some help, book a one-on-one consultation. But I want to hear from you. Do you already own a home and you're stepping into entrepreneurship? Are you an entrepreneur, don't own a home, haven't thought about it, and I just gave you something to think about? I want to know where you are. I want to know who you are. I want to know about you because I want to help you. Leave comments down in the comment section. I will reply. I actually reply. I'm not, I record my own videos. It took me like an hour to set up today. I got so frustrated. I do my own flower arrangements. I bought me some flowers at the farmer's market. I got so frustrated. I went downstairs and I just did my flower arrangements because I was like, listen, I'm done. I'm through. I'm over it. Okay. But I still show up. As I stated before, I'm going to be showing up for you a lot more often, but I need you to show up for me. Show up for me. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you have going on. I want to know about your business. I want to know what part of the country you live in or what country or continent you live in. I want to know more about you. So let me help you this year in 2024. Build the business of your dreams. I really appreciate you showing up for me. Have a great night and a great 2024. Thanks.